All right, let's see here. Let me get this music turned down, guys, and then we'll start answering some questions. We're gonna do a short stream today. It's only 4 games, but how's everybody doing? Hope you guys are having a good Thursday night. We got a 4-game NBA slate tonight. We got college football playoff game tonight. Should be interesting. Ole Miss in Miami. But over the next 25 minutes up until the start of the Pacers Hornets game, we're gonna talk through this slate, answer some questions, build out a slip maybe on stream. We'll see if there's any value we can snipe over the next 30 minutes or so. There are some injuries that we're waiting on, so we'll have to keep an eye on those. Right now, we did just get Andrew Nembhard ruled out. That came out right before I started streaming. I'm pretty sure they pulled all the Pacers props. Okay, it looks like they're starting to add some of them back up, but I gave out TJ McConnell 19.5 PRA. I don't know if you guys, there might be some people in here that are in Discord, but I told everybody, take Nembhard over 19.5 PRA, and his line, where's it at now? 24.5? Yeah, 24.5. 5 points of value there. So it's valuable to be in our Discord for sure. We're gonna find the good plays, and hopefully during the stream we'll find some good plays as well. But I'm glad I was able to get that one out to the Discord people. Hopefully people got it. I think it was up for 2 minutes before they pulled it. But yeah, we'll see if we can find some value tonight. It's going to be an interesting slate. We're still waiting on what other injury news. Darius Garland's questionable for the Cavs, so that's kind of a big one. Anthony Edwards is questionable. That's a very big one. And then the Jazz have a couple questionable guys, Nurkic, Ace Bailey. Those aren't as impactful, but there could be some value to get there. I doubt we get any news on Utah during this stream. We might get news on Anthony Edwards or Darius Garland, maybe. And then also, we'll see Pacers starting lineup, Hornets starting lineup, see if we can find value there. Maybe the Pacers lineup might give us some value, depending on who's starting. But yeah, Andrew Nembhard got ruled out, so we'll have to wait and see who starts there. I don't think it's going to be TJ McConnell. I think they're still going to bring TJ McConnell off the bench. But man, if TJ McConnell is starting, I really like his over. Okay, they're going with Quentin Jackson, Naismith, Furphy, Siakam, and Huff. So Quentin Jackson starting in place of Nembhard. I don't think, they're not going to have any props on Jackson. I was hoping they would start TJ McConnell, but they seem like they really want to bring him off the bench. But I think it's still okay. 19.5 PRA. I think last time Nembhard was out, McConnell had I want to say he had 26 PRA in 20 minutes. He was really productive. He's a really productive player when he gets minutes. TJ McConnell, at least. Especially when he's the primary ball handler, primary point guard, which when he's on the floor without Nembhard, he's going to be the primary ball handler in all those minutes. So I still like that play a lot. Definitely would have rather seen him starting, but it's okay. Still good. But what's up, everybody in chat, man? What's up to everybody? User Watch Out says, you like Naismith under points? Well, I'm assuming his lines got inflated because of Nembhard getting ruled out, so probably not. It depends where it's at now. Right now in Prizepicks, they don't have anything but goblins. Oh, the Hornets are starting Colin Sexton. Okay, we got some value here. Colin Sexton fantasy, 23.5. Really like that. LaMelo's coming off the bench. I'm guessing they're going to limit LaMelo's minutes on a back-to-back. You could also take LaMelo unders. But, LaMelo could still come off the bench and play well and go over. But yeah, Colin Sexton fantasy, I love this play. Starting. What's a good pair? We could definitely just take the free square. This is it right here. This is a good slip. Get this in, guys. I like this a lot. I don't know how much money you guys can get down on the free squares if you haven't used it, but Colin Sexton starting for the Hornets over LaMelo. Again, I'm assuming they're going to limit LaMelo's minutes on a back-to-back. So, and also, you could, if you play this slip, you could also take LaMelo unders. I'm going to post this for Patreon members in the Discord. We were able to grab a good one. Let's see if they bump Sexton props at all. Okay, his assist got locked. His PRA is still at 18.5. Honestly, you could also take that. You could take 13.5 points. Like, these are all good. I mean, these lines are all too low with him starting. I think I usually always just go to fantasy, but like, let's see. PRA, he's over 3 out of 5. Points, he's over 3 out of 5. And then fantasy, he's over 3 out of 5. I mean, it's really just kind of pick your poison there. They bumped his PRA 1. Points still 13.5. Fantasy is usually like the last thing also. Fantasy is usually like the last thing to get bumped. So that's kind of also why I take fantasy first. Because it's like, it's a line that, you know, isn't automated. Whereas like points, props, and PRA and all this stuff is it's automated by the sports books. So the sports books, like, once they adjust the lines, Prizepicks automatically adjust the lines based off what the sports books do. But the fantasy lines, I mean, those are lines Prizepicks creates themselves. So, okay, PA went up to 17.5. But this is interesting. Let's see. Okay, Ace Bailey got ruled out for the Jazz. What about Nurkic? Because I think there's also some value on some unders if Nurkic is playing. I guess we're not going to get news on Nurkic. I'm really surprised these Sexton lines aren't getting bumped a ton, or like getting removed. I mean, I think there's some pretty good value on these. I guess the LaMelo unders were probably what really got nuked. Okay, so PA just got bumped up to 19.5. All of LaMelo's lines are gone. Okay, Sexton's... Okay, they're starting to remove Sexton lines. LaMelo will come off the bench for the first time... Oh, that was Underdog tweeted that. LaMelo coming off the bench for the first time since January 30th, 2020. The reason he's coming off the bench is just because it's a back-to-back. Like, I don't think he actually got benched. It's just because it's a back-to-back and they're going to manage his minutes. We've seen teams do this with other... Like, Mark Williams, he got his minutes managed on a back-to-back and they brought him off the bench. But yeah, I love this Colin Sexton play. I mean, let's look at what Colin Sexton's done as a starter this year. Some of these games probably were like without LaMelo or without somebody. But I mean, you look at his fantasy score as a starter, 39, 37, 35, 29, 29, 26, 25. So I mean, what? 2, 4, 6, 7 out of 11 games as a starter. He's gone over that fantasy line, 23.5. I mean, 2 of the games he went under, he played 20 minutes, 26 minutes. I'd assume as a starter, especially if LaMelo's playing limited minutes, I mean, Sexton probably plays like 30 minutes here, maybe more. Pacers matchup's really good. Yeah, I love this play for sure. I was going to try and find something else to pair it with, but since that NFL free square is available, like I figured I'd just take that. But there's some other ones I'm kind of eyeing. Like if Darius Garland gets ruled out, I really like Jalen Tyson fantasy. I think he would start in place of Garland most likely. Kevin Huerter did get ruled out earlier, which I think benefits Ayo Dosunmu. I kind of like his fantasy line. But yeah. But I'm going to answer some questions. I did want to get that slip thrown in though. I wasn't even sure if I was going to build out a stream slip today, but you know, this is why we do these streams, is because like there's always going to be value that pops up with injury news and lineup changes and stuff. And I'm still surprised they haven't removed this Sexton line. I mean, Sexton's PRA line's all the way up to 21.5, 22.5. Like this fantasy line should be 26.5, 27.5. So it's definitely a good play, especially with how much his other lines are getting bumped. That's why I said like fantasy is always good, because it's like the last thing that Prizepicks... It's almost like Prizepicks realizes, oh shit, we still have this fantasy line that's too low that we've got to fix. Because like everything else has gotten bumped up a ton except for fantasy. Any Jazz people you're looking at in case folks get ruled out or limited minutes? Okay, Anthony Edwards is available to play, so not much value there. But for the Jazz, Nurkic is what we're waiting on. Ace Bailey's out. I don't think that really matters too much, but Nurkic is still questionable. The lines are set like Nurkic is going to be out. So if Nurkic plays, I think Kevin Love unders look pretty good. These lines, like 15.5 PR, that's pretty much a line that's set like Nurkic is going to be out. So I think Kevin Love unders would be good. I think Kyle Filipowski unders would also be good. We took Filipowski under 27 fantasy in my Patreon earlier today. That line's off the board now. I think you could still take some of these unders like PRA, but I would only be taking these, I think, if Nurkic was out. Or if Nurkic plays, excuse me. If Nurkic is out, then I don't want to take these. But like I assume if Nurkic winds up getting announced as playing, like these lines are going to probably get pulled quickly. But that's pretty much it for the Jazz. It's really just the big men, Filipowski and Kevin Love. But yeah, they had Filipowski's lines set really high today. I think the books were thinking that maybe Lauri Markkanen would be out, Nurkic would be out, but Markkanen's not on the injury report, and Nurkic is questionable. He could play. We'll see. How do we feel about Sion James over PRA? Feel like he gets a bit of a bump with LaMelo being limited. I mean, he does. Sion James is like a really, really low usage player that like doesn't do anything when he's on the floor. But his minutes should be solid here. Now he could play like 25 minutes and not get 10 PRA because like he doesn't do much when he's out there. But I think that's okay. I definitely like the Sexton over those. The Sexton overs first. I mean, look, his PRA line is the same as his fantasy. Like this fantasy line is really good. Like I don't know why Prizepicks hasn't bumped this yet. I mean, his PRA is higher than his fantasy. Like these lines are going all over the place right now. But yeah, this fantasy line should be at least like 27.5, 23.5. Like that's bad. That's a great play. So yeah, if you guys have something you really like, feel free to pair it with the Sexton play. That's if you want my play of the day. That's my play of the day right there. It's Colin Sexton over fantasy. Let's see if I want to see if Better still has lines up for Sexton. They probably don't. They've already pulled them. What's up, Noah? Cashed out yesterday with you. Was able to pay my phone bill. I'd love to hear that. You like Nikola Vucevic under fantasy, Randall under fantasy. Now that Anthony Edwards is playing, okay, there they go. There's the 4-point bump on Sexton that was eventually going to happen. So hopefully you guys got that at 23.5 because there was a lot of value there. That's why it's, again, I say it every time, man. That's why it's valuable being in these streams. I don't know how many people we got in these streams right now, but hopefully everyone who's watching right now, you get this value in with us. But the Randall under, I think is good. I think it's good. It's a bad matchup for Randall. His line earlier today was 38.5, I think, and then they bumped it to 40.5 once it was announced Edwards was questionable. But now that Edwards is playing, the line should be 38.5. It shouldn't be 40.5. So I do actually kind of like that Randall under. And then Vooch under 40. That feels like a pretty accurate line here for Vooch. I know Miami historically has been a bad matchup for centers, but this year they've been more giving to the centers. Miami's really struggled rebounding too. Like, I want to say they're giving up like the most rebounds to centers this year. The Heat are. Plus, obviously there's no Josh Giddey. Kevin Huerter's out. They've been running the offense more through Vooch lately without Giddey. So I'm not as confident in that one. But the Randall under 40.5, I do actually kind of like that. I think that's pretty solid. Any Heat game picks for the Heat game? I would say my favorite play in the Heat game is definitely Ayo Dosunmu over 26.5 fantasy. So Kevin Huerter's out, and we don't know yet who's going to start for the Bulls in place of Huerter. It's either probably going to be Ayo or Kobe White, but Kobe White's on a minutes restriction right now. It was reported he was going to be limited to, let's see, where was it? 24 to 26 minutes. and he was limited last game, and he came off the bench. I think they're going to bring Kobe White off the bench again because he's still limited. So if Kobe White comes off the bench, that probably means Ayo Dosunmu is starting. If Ayo Dosunmu is starting and playing like 30 minutes, I think 26.5 fantasy is pretty good. I mean, he's been going over this line a lot this year, especially as of late. He's gone over this line in like every game except one without Josh Giddey this season. And obviously Giddey's out right now. So that's my favorite play in the Heat game. And honestly, I'm not going to say this is an official slip, but I think this is a solid 2-pick right here. Like, it would probably be something I'd play a little bit lighter on. It wouldn't be like a full unit play. Whereas, like, the Sexton play, that was a great play. Like, I'm very confident in that one. This one I'm not as confident in, but I still think it's solid. I think that Randall line with Edwards playing is a couple points too high. And I think if if Ayo is starting for Herter, which he probably will, I think 26.5 is a bit low on Ayo if he's starting. If he doesn't start, he's still going to play a good amount of minutes. I mean, I think he's been coming off the bench and still playing like 26, 27 minutes lately. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, Ayo played 31 minutes last night off the bench, so I still like that regardless. But it obviously looks better if he's starting. So that's a play I do kind of like for today. What about Evan Mobley fantasy? I don't love the spot for Mobley. I think a lot of the Cavs guys, I'm pretty sure their lines got bumped up a little bit when it was announced that Darius Garland was questionable. If Darius Garland doesn't play, like if he gets ruled out, I think Mobley over 40 fantasy is solid with if Garland's out. If Garland plays, like I'm just kind of iffy on it. Hornets are bringing LaMelo off the bench to maximize his availability on back-to-back so he can play more in the fourth quarter. Okay. I mean, that makes sense, I guess. That's what I figured. It's because it's a back-to-back and, you know, they want to kind of stretch his minutes out. I locked in before the bumps. Thanks, Noah. You've been on a real heater. Hey, no problem, man. No problem, man. Hopefully Sexton comes through for us. I think it's a really good play. I feel really good about that one. If you didn't get it at 23.5, I don't think I would take it at 27.5. All of his lines, I mean, they all kind of look correct now. But that fantasy line was definitely a little bit too low, for sure. I got Tyler Hero first quarter points over 4.5. So Hero came off the bench his last game that he played in. I don't know if he's going to come off the bench again or if they're going to start him. I didn't even think about, like, you probably could have looked at, like, LaMelo first quarter unders coming off the bench, but I think they've kind of already adjusted those lines now. But Tyler Hero, 4.5, let's see. So he only had 3. How many minutes did he play last game? I want to look at this. Hero might be back in the starting lineup tonight. I don't know. But last game he did come off the bench, and let's see. He subbed in about halfway through the first quarter. So he played about 5.5 minutes. I mean, can he score 5 points in 6 minutes? It's a possibility for sure. I would definitely like that play more, though, if he was starting. If he comes off the bench again, I'd be a little hesitant taking Hero first quarter overs. I feel like first quarter props are really sketchy for guys that come off the bench. Because, I mean, they're already missing half the quarter for the most part. Thanks for everything. Good luck, everyone. Hey, Kari Silvers, thank you for tuning in. Siakam plus Sexton assist combo, good value at 8.5. Assist lines were both set at 4.5. Have they adjusted those lines since it was announced that Sexton was starting? If they haven't, you could take that. And without Andrew Nembhard too, I actually kind of like that. Yeah, I do kind of like that. Sexton's at 4.5 assists. Siakam's at 4.5 assists as well. I don't think that's a bad play at all. I wonder, I mean, so you look at Sexton as a starter this year. 12 assists, 8 assists, 8 assists, 7, 6, 5. Now, I'm sure LaMelo probably played in some of these games. And some of these games probably were also without LaMelo. But, I mean, he's had at least 5 assists in like half of his games as a starter. I wonder what Siakam did without Nembhard this year. Because I know Nembhard, he missed a game earlier this season. He's missed a couple games, actually. 10 assists, 8, 8, 6, 5, 3, 3, 1. So not bad there. I mean, especially when TJ McConnell's not on the floor, a lot of the ball handling is going to be by Siakam. I mean, I guess Quentin Jackson will do some point guard stuff, but they're going to run a lot of offense through Siakam without Andrew Nembhard. So yeah, that assist combo, I don't mind that play at all. I think that's solid. What do you think of Miles Bridges over 6.5 rebounds? I feel like the rebounding matchup's probably solid. Like the Pacers, typically the Pacers are a fast-paced team. This year, without Halliburton, they're not playing like quite as fast. And typically they've not been like a great rebounding team. I'd have to look at like Miles Bridges' like rebound chances. I would assume maybe without Kalkbrenner he does better on the glass, but maybe not because Diabate is a really good rebounder. So let's see. This year, Miles Bridges, 10.5 rebound chances per game. Just the last 3 games, he's at 14.7. So he's definitely been around the basket more, grabbing rebounds lately. Man, Diabate's at 24.5 rebound chances last 3 games. That dude just eats up on the glass. I think that's an okay play. Rebound props I'm always just hesitant on. I feel like they're just really tough to project. You got any college football? Not for tonight. I was going to do some content for the college football playoff games, but like with NBA going on, we got NFL this weekend too. I'm also leaving tomorrow. I'm going to Charlotte. I'm actually going to the Panthers game on Saturday. So I'm leaving tomorrow. So I'm trying to do my NFL videos, get those done for the weekend. So I haven't really had time to really look much into college football. But who do you guys think wins the game tonight? Because I might bet on the game. Since we have prediction markets now and I can technically sports bet. Who you guys think? I like Ole Miss to win tonight, but I really don't know. It's a tough one. In my opinion, I think Ole Miss is like the best team. They're like the sneakiest team left of the 4. I think Indiana's definitely the favorite to win it all, but like I kind of like Ole Miss. Their offense is so good. Trinidad Chambliss is so good. And their defense, their defense was solid against Georgia. Right, like Miami's defense. This will be an interesting game because Miami has such a good defense and Ole Miss has such a good offense. So it's you got 2 powerhouses in their departments. Great defense versus great offense. Like I feel like those always make for good matchups. I kind of like Ole Miss tonight, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Whoever took Hero's first quarter points is cooked. It'll depend if he's starting or not, for sure. If he's starting, then I think it's actually kind of solid. But yeah, if he comes off the bench again, I'd be a little bit worried there. I don't know if they're going to start him or bring him off the bench. He still played like almost 30 minutes last game off the bench, so like it doesn't really seem like he's limited too much. What do you think about Matas Buzelis over 17.5 points? Yeah, Buzelis, he's been playing really well lately. He's been definitely getting, been more involved in the offense without Josh Giddey. I feel like the matchup's pretty good too. Miami plays really fast. They're one of the faster paced teams in the league. They give up threes. I don't hate the play on Buzelis. I feel like his lines are, they're set correctly, I think, but he's definitely been outperforming his projections lately. It's always tough when a player like Buzelis, a player like Buzelis who you typically don't project this high, just suddenly just starts popping off every game. It's like really hard to adjust for that. But the books are they're inflating his lines more than they were previously. What is your favorite type of bet with NBA? If it's on Prizepicks, it's definitely fantasy score. For one, I've been playing daily fantasy since I was, almost 10 years ago. Over 10 years ago, I started playing daily fantasy, and daily fantasy is what fantasy score is. It's all about projections, fantasy points. So I have a really good understanding of where there is value in fantasy point projections. For example, the Colin Sexton, 23.5. There was great value in that. And, surely enough, they bumped the line 4 points. It's really easy to spot, fantasy score value, especially for someone like me who's been playing daily fantasy for so long. So that's definitely, if you're in my Patreon, I take fantasy scores like every day. I know some people don't like the fantasy scores because like they're not available on sports books and stuff, but I do Prizepicks, so like I'm gonna do what's available to me, and that's Prizepicks. Just got in here. What you've been looking at so far? So we gave out, once it was announced that LaMelo wasn't starting and Colin Sexton was starting, we took Sexton over 23.5 fantasy, paired that with the college football or the NFL free square for Saturday. They bumped the line though on Sexton. Somebody in chat recommended Randall under, which I actually do kind of like. I think this line at 40.5 is a little bit high with Anthony Edwards playing. Edwards was questionable. They bumped the line up once he was announced questionable. Now that he's playing, the line looks a little bit high. So that's a prop that I do kind of like. And then Ayo Dosunmu over 26.5 fantasy. I think there's a chance he starts tonight with Kevin Huerter out. Even if he comes off the bench, he still probably plays like 26, 28 minutes. If he's starting, though, he definitely probably plays over 30 minutes. It's a really good matchup. Miami plays really fast. Ayo's been really good without Josh Giddey this year. So I like these two plays a good amount. And then also, I'm looking at Jalen Tyson over fantasy. Darius Garland's questionable. We're still waiting for that news. If Darius Garland gets ruled out, I think Jalen Tyson over 19.5 fantasy is a really good play. He should start in place of Garland if Garland does miss. If you wanted to, you could add that to these. But obviously, there's a little bit of risk there, if Garland does wind up playing. I mean, Tyson could still go over, but I would definitely prefer Garland to be out if I took that. I don't know if we're going to get that news anytime soon. It'll probably be after I get off stream. Just heads up, maybe raining here in Charlotte starting tomorrow night, clearing out before the game. Yeah, we've been checking the weather. I mean, I think our tickets are covered, I'm pretty sure. Like where we're sitting, it's kind of covered. So I think we'll be okay, even if it's if it does rain at the game. But I'm excited, man. I used to be like a big Panthers fan when Cam Newton was there, and then I started to die off just because like that's when I started playing fantasy football and like daily fantasy, and I was gambling. I didn't really care about what NFL teams would win. But like it's gonna be fun to see the Panthers back in the playoffs. I mean, they haven't been in the playoffs. They haven't hosted a playoff game in I think 10 years. So I know the energy in Charlotte on Saturday is gonna be awesome. I'm excited. Okay, Darius Garland is going through his pregame warm-ups at usual time, so that probably means he's playing. So that Tyson over, I definitely am a little bit more hesitant on now. Nurkic over fantasy if he ends up playing. I'd be a little iffy on that one just because it is a back-to-back, and there's always a chance the Jazz could play guys like limited minutes on a back-to-back. But Nurkic, he's been crushing lately. He's always been a great per-minute guy. Like when Nurkic gets minutes, he can really fill up the stat sheet. It's definitely a scary spot if he goes up against Anthony Davis. Like that brings in foul trouble risk. But if you told me Nurkic played 28 minutes, I would really like his over fantasy. I don't know if he plays that much though on a back-to-back. I think the game yesterday went to overtime too, so they played even more than usual. Like yesterday, the game went to overtime. Nurkic played like 33 minutes yesterday, so I definitely would be a little bit worried his minutes could get a little managed here. That'd be my one concern. Do you like Ant over 29 tonight or Mitchell? I feel like Anthony Edwards and Donovan Mitchell's points props are kind of set correctly. I think Mitchell's lines actually got bumped up a bit once it was announced Garland was questionable. So now that Garland looks like he's going to play, they might bump Mitchell's points down if Garland's playing. I can't remember what the line was at today. And then Anthony Edwards, I mean, look, Anthony Edwards is a great player. He's going to take a ton of shots. He's going to play big minutes, but like 30.5 points, like that feels like a good line. That feels like an accurate line to me. Against Cleveland, Yeah, I mean, they just bumped the line down a point. I don't have much of a take on either one of those. I feel like those are correct lines to me. I don't see much value in either one, personally. I read Edwards is 23 points away from 10K points. Well, hey, maybe he's incentivized to get 23 then. But, you know, if you're betting his full game, or his normal line, then, you know, you need 30. Okay, Darius Garland will play, so there we go. So that's pretty much all the injury news for tonight. I think the only thing we're waiting on is Nurkic, and that's really it. And then, you know, that Nurkic news isn't going to come out till way later. You like Najee Marshall fantasy score, Pascal fantasy score? Did they, I think they pulled Siakam's fantasy score once Nembhard got ruled out. I think Siakam's line was at like 41 or 42. I feel like that was solid if you took that over. And then Najee Marshall, so he's been starting lately, or he started last game because PJ Washington was out. He's going to start again. I feel like 27 is probably an accurate line for the matchup against Utah. If anything, it might be a little low. Like, I think the line should probably be like 28 or 28.5. I know he's gone under a lot, but like, he didn't start some of these games, but now he's starting. And I think last game he played, how many minutes did he play as a starter? I want to say he played a good amount. Let me see. Yeah, he played 31.5 minutes last game. And I think he got into some early foul trouble. Yeah, it looks like he had 3 fouls in the first quarter. So he probably would have played more, you know, had he not gotten into some early foul trouble last game. Like, if I had to lean over or under there on Najee, I would actually lean on the over. I know the recent games don't suggest that, but again, you got to take that with a grain of salt because he wasn't starting all these games. Cam pounding the drum before kickoff. What section you in, Noah? I'm in 520. I think we're... Honestly, I can't remember. I want to say we're in one of the clubs because I wanted to get tickets that were like covered. I can't remember what club it is, but I think we're in one of the clubs. If I remember correctly. Hold up, I have to look. Let's see. Yeah, we're in the Gridiron. That's where we're going to be. Because I looked at the seats, and the Gridiron club seats, like, they're covered. So if it's raining, you know, we'll at least be covered. Won't be getting poured on. But yeah, I saw that Cam's going to be pounding the drum. That's going to be cool. That's going to be cool. Again, I haven't been to a Panthers game. Last Panthers game I went to was probably 7 or 8 years ago. It was the game that, it was, for one, it was like freezing cold. But I think it was when Melvin Gordon was on the Chargers, and I think he tore his ACL that game. It was back in like 2014 or 2015. Like, that's the last time I was at a Panthers game. So I haven't been down there in forever. Have you given out any slips yet? We gave out one slip. It was, I'll pull it up real quick, and then we'll wrap up the stream in a minute. We gave out Colin Sexton over 23.5 fantasy. Paired that with the NFL free square. Obviously, the Sexton line, you know, it's not really playable now because they bumped it. But once it was announced that Colin Sexton was going to start over LaMelo, we took Sexton over 23.5 fantasy. So that was kind of our official stream slip for today. But then there was another play that I did like a little bit, was Randall under fantasy with Anthony Edwards playing. I think Randall's line looks a couple points too high. And then with Kevin Huerter out tonight, I think Ayo Dosunmu over fantasy looks solid. So if you want to run these two, you can. I would do a little bit lighter. I didn't personally play these, so it's not like an official slip, but I do kind of like these. This is our official slip, though. Sexton over fantasy with the Caleb Williams free square. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up the stream here. I will see you guys probably on Monday. I won't be home tomorrow, so I won't be streaming tomorrow. I'm still going to have videos, though, this weekend. I'll do a video for NBA tomorrow. I'll do a video for the NFL games on Saturday and for the NFL games on Sunday. And then I'll be back for the Monday night NFL game and then for Monday NBA. But I'll see you guys on Monday, I guess. Again, I won't be streaming tomorrow. But I hope you guys have a good weekend. Enjoy the college football playoff games tonight. Enjoy the NFL playoff games this weekend. If anyone's going to be at the Panthers game on Saturday, maybe I'll see you there because I'll be there. But yeah, good luck, guys. Till next time. Peace out.